And he left the Democratic Party declaring this: when our Constitution was formed, nobody doubted and everybody expected that the institution of slavery, it was so lethal in its effects, would fade away. Fade away. But times have changed, he said. The invention of the cotton gin made the production of cotton profitable. And with that power, public sentiment has changed in the South, and too much here in the North. Continuing Hannibal Hamlin, he said, slavery might help the South temporarily, but permanently it is a blight. Shall we repeal freedom and make slavery? And it comes to that. So Lincoln thought that the former Democrat, become a Republican, could convince other Democrats to switch the party, and he chose him as his running mate, and they became very close. Their viewpoints were very, very close. And I hope I have my little thingy here to show you just how close they are. Okay, if you learn nothing else tonight, I want you to learn this. Nothing else tonight, learn this next thing. I'm hiding it behind my light. They were so close in their opinions that some people made up this. See, Mr. Hamlin's name is in the midst of Abraham Lincoln's name. That's how close they were to him. And fascinating. Who saw that? Did anybody know this? Anybody in the room know this? Except Cheryl.
Sure.
You remember it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she. Okay, Cheryl. So, and I should tell you that actually Maine voted for the Lincoln-Hamlin ticket 62%. And there were like 4 or 5 candidates. Douglas got 29%. The rest of these jokers got very little. But the Mainers who stood with Lincoln and Hamlin and helped those slaves escape over the Underground Railroad put themselves and their lives and their fortunes in jeopardy. In jeopardy because if caught, they faced fines or prison. Oh, David! I can see it here.
Can you try another slide? Go.
There.
Okay, let's see if that works. Phew. Okay. So, they could be put in jail if they were caught with holding slaves. They could be fined. They could do both. Giving you an example. Now, the first Fugitive Slave Act was passed in 1793, but it was re-upped, so to speak, in 1850. 1850. And it made aiding fugitives a penal offense. You could be fined $1,000 per slave found in your house. You could be put in jail for 6 months for each slave found in your house. In one trial, 3 people in Michigan were convicted, and it cost them $6,000. One guy in Pennsylvania was fined $4,000 for having 13 slaves. Thank God he didn't have 1,000 person. 13,000, 1860, that's a lot of money. And a man in Baltimore was sentenced to a mere 45 years. Okay, just 45. 45 years for helping a family of 9 escape. So you can see it was a dangerous time, perilous time. Think of it this way. Now, see if I shake your hand and do it again. You realize this is the line. Think of it this way. We're in Danville, right? We're in the north. New Gloucester. New Gloucester is in the south. So in the north, slavery is against the law. In the south, it's part of the fabric of their living. People in Danville and people in New Gloucester and Durham went to school together. They went to church together. They had family. Did they have cookouts back in the? But you get what I'm saying. They were friends. They were school chums. And yet one was for slavery, one was against. One was allowed slaves, and one wasn't. It's just that close. When we look at those numbers of people that were killed in that war, how many killed their neighbors, old friends? It just tore this country apart. Can you see that? Keep getting in your way. I apologize.
Fine.
So no matter the season, but especially in the winter, escape was a rugged, a challenging race to freedom. Imagine this scene very well could be in Maine. Whether your Bono snowman was it. Holton, Maine. Obviously it became more difficult in the wintertime, but the dangers of holding slaves for even more than a few days was quite big at the time. Now, this is a map that shows some of the major routes of the slaves escaping the country. You'll notice that up here was a big one. Did you ever think of the slaves escaping to the south? Down in the Caribbean, down to Mexico? Well, they did. But do you notice what's missing on our map here? Those down national people left out a very important part of the whole route. Maine! Now, this is the topographical map, and for you people, David! People who, oh, gee whiz, okay.
Mark, there's a button on your handheld pointer that if you hit it, it stops the.
Is that me?
That's
I'm
you.
causing all the problems.
It is.
I apologize.
I only
I don't want to blame it on technology.
Yeah.
I only know that because I have the same one and I do it
I've
all
got
the
another
time.
pointer in my other bag. I won't point anymore, but, I think, David, I think I gotta go present it here, right?
Yes.
So that everybody can see a bigger picture.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. And here's now this is, when we first started giving this talk a few years ago, the Maine Underground Railroad Association had 70 some odd communities that had safe houses. We're up to 89 now. We had 90 for a moment, but I had to subtract Auburn, because I could not prove that you guys in Auburn had any safe houses. So if you know of any that was a safe house, tell me now, because the Underground Railroad people had Dingley House as a safe house. The place wasn't built until 1873. Sorry, we didn't need safe houses in 1873, so I've taken Auburn off the list. I'm sorry, I apologize. If you're offended, let me know. Come up afterwards. Maybe not right now. Anybody here know of any safe houses? For sure, in Auburn. Oh, darn. We got 4 in Monmouth, my little village of Monmouth. We got 4 places. Ha ha. Oh goodness. Okay, so I'm giving away one of my books, True North Tice's Story, to whoever can tell me, Eddie, you can do this.
Oh.
No, okay, you can, but, all right. Anybody can tell me where this house is, and it's in Lewiston, Maine.
Really?
While you're thinking about it,
Down on Lincoln Street.
I'm going to tell you a cool story. The Quakers were very, Christian people obviously were very involved in the Underground Railroad. Among those Christians were the Quakers. And you can tell me where this place is, right? I've got it up there, so you can't miss it.